thought we deserved a little bit more than a draw from that game. It finished West Ham United 1, Liverpool 1. I've got some highlights for you, and I've got some reaction from some fans who have just sent in well, their thoughts on what happened, basically. I haven't even looked at it yet, so I don't know what they're going to say. Got some in-game footage courtesy of West Ham Highlights. If you're not following him or subscribing him, then do so. He'll have all the highlights from every home game, and he just uploads them straight away. He's very quick. The link is in the description below, so I thank him for those. Well, I tell you what, the first goal that Liverpool scored was a shocker. It was terrible. I mean, it was so offside, it was unbelievable. The laughing, ridiculous thing about it is just before that, the linesman had changed his flag. He had a replacement flag. Well, you know what, mate? There's no point in getting a replacement flag if you're not going to raise the bloody thing. Anyway, that was offside. Anybody could see it, and there's some very funny things doing the rounds on social media. So, what we had to do is we had to get into the game, and get into the game we did. A cute, crafty and sneaky free kick set play where we saw Anderson playing the ball through to Antonio, who finished smartly. It bamboozled them. They didn't know what was going on, Liverpool. I didn't know what was going on. I was surprised to see it go in myself. But I was very, very happy. And it wouldn't be the only time that Anderson would impact the game and provide a very, very nice free kick. He did it as well when he floated the ball over. I say floated, more whipped. More whipped, wasn't it? Into Declan Rice, who maybe was a little bit surprised, tried their Hollywood header into the top corner and just missed. But by that time, the stadium was, everyone's towels was up and everyone was enjoying themselves, of course. Mark Noble, I think he'll sort of think that he wanted to keep his effort down a little bit. On other days, he may well have scored that. But you know what? All in all, we had lots of chances. Diop had a chance. There were other chances, left, right and centre. Hernandez had some long shots, had some short shots, and we did all right. I thought we did really, really well. Are Liverpool struggling? Are they struggling, leading at the top of the title race? Listen, whatever. There was a lot of talk during the week about us doing Man City a favour. We're not here to do Man City a favour. We're not here to scupper Liverpool's title. We're here for West Ham, and we've got to concentrate on ourselves and focus on ourselves. So if we change the title race in some way, then so be it. It's got a lot of time left to run, and the title race will not be won or lost over anything that happens against West Ham United. But this was good for us. It's good for our morale. It gets our towels up before we go away at Crystal Palace. And with some of the players coming back from injury, our team can only get better. These performances can only get better. I will hand you over to the fellas now. You've got some instant reactions from them. Thanks for tuning in. This is the forum channel. We've got a review on the main channel. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel, please. We are very, very close to 4,000 subscribers.
Well. West Ham United have just blown the title race wide open, even more so than it was before today. But we're not bothered about that, are we? What we're bothered about is, what a great point for West Ham. Brilliant performance. Thoroughly deserved the point. Arguably could have even come away with all three had we took another one of the chances that we got on the counter-attack. And there were a few. I thought we looked really dangerous going forward when we did. I don't know where it came from, this performance, because I certainly wasn't expecting it, I'll be honest. I expected a bit of a hiding today. I think a lot of us were, maybe most of us, because the last three performances from us have been absolutely awful. Against Bournemouth, Wimbledon and Wolves, we was atrocious. And today we've come out and we've really put on a bit of a show, which is great to see, but in a way it's a little bit worrying. Why can't we do this against the teams we should be beating? I don't know what it is, but we seem to turn up against these big teams. I mean, we've now got a point against both Liverpool and Chelsea at home, and we've beaten Manchester United there as well as Arsenal. So we really are turning it on in the games where we don't really expect anything. But I'm not going to go too much into that. We've just got to be happy with that today because it was brilliant. We were fantastic to a man. We really were. I can't really fault anybody. Pellegrini today, he really did get it spot on. And when the lineup was announced, I had my concerns. I was concerned about Hernandez up front on his own, but I thought he did okay. He had a good enough game up there. He had a couple of good chances early on of his own making, especially that first one. Lovely little move, but he's just put it wide of the post. And that showed our intent from the beginning there, really, that we were going to have a little bit of a go when we got the ball. So, good to see. The other big call was Ryan Fredericks. Whilst I quite like the guy, I really do. I said it after the Wimbledon game. He came on and he just looks so good going forward. He's so quick. He put some really good balls into the box in that game. So from an attacking point of view, no issues with him at all. But there are slight concerns about him defensively. But today, he was brilliant, I thought. I don't think he put a foot wrong. So fair play to Pellegrini. Great decision in the end. Angelo Ogbonna, I can't emphasise enough how well Ogbonna played today. And I think it's important that I do so because I've given the guy a lot of stick on here and on the main channel. I'm just not convinced of him in a back four. I'm not convinced of him at all in any way, shape or form. But today he was an absolute beast. He was a rock in there. He was winning everything. Anytime anything went anywhere near him, it seemed like he was on the end of it. I thought he was terrific. He was calm, composed. Fantastic performance from Ogbonna. Really happy for the guy. Whilst I'm not saying if Balbuena was miraculously back for our next game, he'd still be out the team for me. But I've got to give him credit where credit's due. And today, fantastic performance from Ogbonna. Same as everyone else in that back line. I thought Diop had a good game. Creswell had a good game. Look, at the end of the day, your back five's going to have had a good game to keep Liverpool at bay. And they only got one goal. They didn't create too many clear-cut chances. We was fantastic defensively. Fabianski, how good is that guy? I mean, when was the last time we had a goalkeeper that good? I can't remember in my lifetime. Probably Ludo. Apart from that, no one. He is terrific. Again, cool, calm and composed. He comes and collects at the right time all of the time. His handling is terrific. And he's up there for Hammer of the Year. He certainly is. He's in with a big shout. Anderson, he just looked dangerous every time he got it on that left-hand side as he does, especially on the counter-attack as the other team are pressing and committing more and more men forward. He then becomes more and more dangerous. And yeah, he just looks $1 million at times. Snodgrass, Rice and Noble in the middle put in an absolute shift. Terrific from all three of them. Noble in the first half was on for man of the match for me. He had such a good first half. A bit quieter in the second half. Still had a good game, mind you. But first half, he was bossing things in there. He was brilliant. His passing was fantastic. And Declan Rice was Declan Rice. So, yeah, really pleased with that. And then I'm going to move on to Antonio. Because we've said it now for a while that the old Antonio's back. Further evidence of that today because he was absolutely terrific. He put in a real shift and I'm just so happy for the guy because at the moment nobody takes his place in that team. He's playing that well. So that's about it for me. I'm just delighted with that and I just hope that we can take this now into the Palace game and continue to take this level of performance into the games that we should be winning because that was brilliant and that was 11 players out there really playing for the shirt and yeah, I'm just so delighted, I really am. Come on you Irons, fingers crossed, 3 points at the weekend. See you later guys, thanks for listening.
So there it is, full time. West Ham 1, Liverpool 1. Do you know what, I'm not going to lie, I was expecting us to get absolutely thumped tonight. I was expecting to come on here, be like, do you know what, we've done it again, 4-0 to Liverpool or whatever, you know, mirror image of the first game of the season. But you know what? We really shut them down well tonight. First half, we caused a few problems of our own. I think we actually played really, really well in the first half. I think we probably played some of the best football we've played since the Arsenal game. In fact, that's not really hard, to be honest, because we've played diabolical since the Arsenal game. But, you know, back to that good performance that we've been expecting from the whole team, and it really kind of took the wind out of my sails a little bit when the Lino, which we'll give a special message to right now, did his best to be Liverpool's 12th man tonight and give them the 3 points, but a lovely finish from Antonio about 4 minutes later to put it back to 1-1, but shocking decision from the Lino there. I mean, what's he doing? How do you get a Premier League job making that much of a hash of something? You know, it was terrible. He was out of position. Even though he was out of position, he was right in front of the play. He had no obstruction. It should have been an easy enough call. But we see it all the time, don't we? You know, these big teams sometimes get favourable decisions from the officials. But, you know, let's not talk about them too much, I guess. First half, I think, as a unit, we were outstanding. We pressed them highly and pressed them quickly. We made a few chances. Antonio, I think, played fantastic in the first half. I think he might have done something to his back in the goal celebration. But I don't think it's anything to worry about. But he just didn't seem the same after his goal. Anderson again was fantastic tonight. Declan Rice, I seem to come on here and mention him every week, and he's just majestic. There was a lovely bit of play that he won the ball, skipped past a player, burst into some space and sprayed it out wide at one point in the match. And you know, it just shows how versatile this young lad is, and how amazing he's going to be. I mean, he's a real talent, real talent. Ogbonna played a lot better today, I think. I wouldn't necessarily give him special mention normally, but I think tonight him and Diop played really well. I think we made it really hard for that front three of Liverpool to cause any problems, and for a large majority of the match we kept Mo Salah quiet, which is really good. Second half it went a little bit flat, and you know, obviously I'm buzzing about today's game. You know, I'm absolutely buzzing. As I said a minute ago, I was expecting us to come on here and get slapped 5-0 or, you know, something like that, and you know, have another embarrassing week being a West Ham fan. But can hold our heads high tomorrow. Am I happy with today's result? Yes. But I think it angers me a little bit and leaves me a little bit bittersweet about the season as a whole. Because tonight we've gone out there and shown that, do you know what, even against the very best teams in this Premier League, we can go out shoulder to shoulder with them and we can have a game of it, and we're not going to get rolled over. And we can even cause them problems. And do you know what? There's been times over the last 3 games, I mean, we got rolled over at Bournemouth, we got dumped out of the cup by Wimbledon, and then we get turned over by Wolves, and you think, why? You know, when we can play like that, and how we did against Arsenal, and how we've done against Man United and Chelsea this season and the other big clubs, why are we not comfortably in 7th place by now? Why are we not that team that's the best of the rest? And the only thing that I can think of is that the desire ain't there. Not necessarily from the manager. I think the manager wants to win trophies, he wants to win competitions, but I think there's a lot of passengers at West Ham at the moment. And unfortunately, because of our injury situation, some of those passengers have had to drive the car. And as the last one of the car analogy, the wheels are starting to fall off a little bit over the last couple of weeks. But you know, it only makes me think, do you know what, if we had a fully fit squad, would we have beaten the teams around us like the Brightons, the Wolves, your Bournemouths of the world? Because we could be having such a different season if we took our chances against the teams that we should be beating on paper. And it leaves me a little bit pissed off, because the quality's obviously there, because let's have it, it's the same 11 players out there tonight, maybe bar 1 or 2, that's played in the other 3 games over the last few weeks. And they look like different players out there tonight. And, you know, the annoying thing is, why don't they turn up like that every week? And that really frustrates me. So, as I say, on a high tonight, on a positive tonight, happy with the result. We can go into next week with our heads held high. Got another point on the board, which, you know, kind of makes up for one of the results over the last 3 weeks. But on the whole, you know, I think this season we've let ourselves down, and you know, I'm going to sound like a parent here, but you know, I'm not angry. Maybe I'm just disappointed. And you know, I think we could be having a much better season than we're already having, and this season, pretty good season. You know, it's better than last year. We're not fighting relegation in the eyes of what West Ham is. You know, we're not having a bad season, but it could be a hell of a lot better. But hey, end on a positive note. Tonight, I think the whole team went out there and performed. Last special mention to Fabianski tonight. He was fantastic again. You know, I feel so confident with this lad at the back. And you know, I think we really notice the defence played better when Fabianski's in goal. Fredericks did all right tonight. Maybe, you know, I still wouldn't put him above Zabaleta. Cresswell had a fantastic game. Snodgrass, Noble, Rice, played really well, and Hernandez looked like he was up for it tonight. So, you know, on the whole, I'm happy tonight, but, you know, as a mid-term report, must do better, I think.
So, it's finished 1-1 to West Ham, and I'm not going to talk about any chances or how well we played. We played very well, that's all I'm going to say. But again, it's a refereeing decision that's ruined the whole game. And it's not even a sending off. It's a linesman stood 5 foot away from a player 2 yards offside and somehow doesn't realise, oh, suddenly there's a player that wasn't onside before. But he was onside. So, yeah, West Ham played well. Liverpool probably just didn't turn up. We made them look ordinary. Or, if you're watching Sky, Liverpool just played badly and it had nothing to do with how well we played. But hey ho, Jamie Carragher's a great pundit, isn't he? So, man of the match, probably... It's between Fabianski, Rice and Anderson. I thought Anderson did play very well. He made a couple of mistakes but instantly rectified them. So, overall, there weren't many players who played badly. But yeah, back to the refereeing. There was just a few decisions today that confused me. And I don't know why, but they just seem to get away with it all the time. Like, that's the sort of decision that has made people lose their jobs in the past. And yet next week, they'll either be refereeing again or just refereeing in the Championship, and then it's all forgotten about. So it's a great point overall, but yet again, we're talking about West Ham and a dodgy decision. Let's not forget, it's not even the first time that this has happened against Liverpool. Yes, we were outplayed and thrashed the first game of the season, but 2-0, we're in the game, offside goal, game over. And that could have been the same today. That could have been the heads dropping, and then that's that. But it's just bad refereeing, really, isn't it? Hey ho.